There are multiple reasons why I decided to get back into school, but I'm going to start with the most concerning. So, in 2022, a child trafficker by the name of Tiffany Bryant contacted me in regards to my reports about Belle Delphine's illicit DMCA she sent me. She created multiple Twitter, Reddit, and Tumblr accounts. We're talking over 20 accounts in 6 months, dedicated to defaming me, all of which were eventually banned or shut down by law enforcement. She made all sorts of ludicrous claims about me that weren't based off of any evidence, and usually took something I said and spun it out of context, and most of the time, it was completely false information she was spouting about me. And sometimes it was information she was trying to shame me under over things that really aren't that shameful. Like one day, she created an infograph of me saying I was unemployed, I lived with my mom, I don't drive, I've never been to college, I play video games and smoke weed all day. And I thought that was really funny, so I set it to my profile picture shortly after she made this infograph, because most of what she said wasn't true. Two of those facts she made about me were false. For example, when she made this, I had been sober for several years, and I spent most of my time studying Python, and I very rarely played video games. There's no problem in my eyes with me not driving, because there's a huge problem in the world with greenhouse gases, and most people in Europe walk anyway. And it wasn't until she started viciously harassing me that I decided to drink out of a severe depression anyway. So if she would have never contacted me and started harassing me, I probably wouldn't have developed a severe drinking problem like I did in 2024. I'm sober now and have been for the entire year, but when she made this post about me in 2022, I hadn't been drinking or smoking for years. So it was just some made up bullshit she made about me. But you know, this is why I decided to go back into college, because she said I'd never been to college, but that was false as well, because I had studied at college and I had about half my credits to get my associate's degree at that time. So she was wrong. It was just made up bullshit. And it's really ironic because Tiffany has the vocabulary of a third grader, and I would be surprised if she even got her GED. She has very poor reading comprehension, but she is very talented in manufacturing weapons. So in this time when I was contemplating getting back into school, I downloaded an app called Medscape, where they have information about health and the medical world and medications. And I was reading an article on brain cancer, because my grandfather died of metastatic cancer. He had it all throughout his body. He was full of cancer, but basically it was brain cancer that killed him. So I took a 5-question exam on brain cancer, and mind you, my grandfather spent his whole life as an oncologist. So he died of the same thing he cured thousands of people with. So I took a 5-question exam on brain cancer, and I scored 100%. And I thought, wow, maybe I should go to school to be a doctor. So I'd gone to college but never completed a degree. So this is when I decided to start taking courses again, with the idea of becoming an oncologist. I took about one class every term for 3 terms to get myself used to school. And I would post about it online. Well, this really upset my stalker, because my stalker is in the business of hurting children, and I have spent my whole life protecting children. When I was 11, I helped write the Children's Bill of Rights, which provided food and a lawyer and housing for any children in my area that needed it. It required schools to provide lunches for children that couldn't afford it. I donate lots of my O-positive blood type, which is pretty much reserved for sick infants. And so I'm in the business of saving kids, and she's in the business of hurting kids. She has posted child abuse content to her Twitter, and I reported it, and she has gone unprosecuted for it for reasons I don't know. But she's very crafty in breaking the law. So she got really upset that I was going to school with the idea to save children from cancer. So she decided to make school an unsafe place for me. I don't really want to talk about what she did, but she basically, in a sense, she followed me to my school and tried to get me kicked out of school off of false reports that made school a very, very unsafe place for me. I felt like I was going to get, hurt if I continued to go to a physical campus. after she made school unsafe for me, I decided to look into alternatives and I used ChatGPT. How can I still get in the medical field and help people with cancer, but also study from home where I don't have to risk bothering her or anybody else in the process? And that's when it suggested the university I now go to. I don't want to talk about it because I don't want my stalker to know where I go, but I had to give up oncology, but they have a computer science program at the university I go to, and I decided if I got a job in computer software, I would be able to write programs that can detect cancer, fulfilling my dream of helping battle against cancer, which was influenced by my grandfather, who both spent his life fighting cancer and died of metastatic cancer. My father was also the CTO of McAfee, which I've mentioned both of these things in previous videos, and he recently spent the last 10 years working in cloud security. So, encryption and cloud storage. If you save something to the cloud, there's a good chance that you're using software my father helped code, or at least oversaw, to save your data. And so I thought if I went into school with a degree in cloud computing, I would be following the footsteps of both my father and my grandfather. And like I've stated in videos prior, my university has told me in orientation that people with this degree have gotten jobs with Pfizer doing exactly what it is I want to do. So I thought, that's a really good motivation to keep studying this career, because I can essentially write a program that might save someone from dying of cancer, and that would be so cool. So people at my online university, I've read the Reddit page for my university. There are people that have got their bachelor's degree and highly encourage other people to immediately start their master's degree, because it's only 10 classes, which could happen very quickly. It could take, 6 months after they get their bachelor's to get their master's degree. I got 19% of the way through with my bachelor's degree in 3 months. It's at your own pace and super cool. So I'm hoping to save someone's life when I grow up. And those are all the reasons why I decided to get back into school.